Your Excellency, Madam President of the Republic of Kosovo, and your dear husband, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, inclusive of ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both a privilege and a great honor to stand before you today at the third edition of the International Women, Peace and Security Forum. On behalf of the delegation from Antigua and Barbuda, I express sincere gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of Kosovo, and especially to Your Excellency, Madam President, for your gracious hospitality and extraordinary leadership. I am honored to be in Kosovo today, a nation whose strong resilience and the democratic process inspires admiration around the globe. We commend Your Excellency, Madam President, for your visionary leadership in championing transparency, democratic reform, and inclusive diplomacy. Your efforts in securing strategic partnerships, strengthening the rule of law, and advocating for Kosovo's peace within the European community are exemplary. I am particularly moved by your bold advocacy for women's leadership in peace building and your unwavering commitment to the principles of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. Your stance on youth empowerment, inclusive governance, and social justice resonates beyond your borders and reflects the shared values of small island developing states like ours. Your nation's journey from conflict to confidence is a testament to the power of perseverance and the purpose. That we meet on this land, once torn by war, and is now striving for peace, is not lost on any of us. It reminds us that peace is never accidental. It is earned, defended, and sustained through vision, inclusion, and courage. As a medical doctor by training and the head of state by vocation, I have long observed that peace and health are profoundly interlinked. Both are not simply the absence of disease or conflict, but the presence of balance, dignity, and hope. Whether tending to trauma in a clinic or advocating for justice in a nation, the task is the same: to restore wholeness. This year, we mark 25 years since the adoption of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, a watershed moment in global diplomacy. For the first time, the Security Council acknowledged not only the unique burdens borne by women in conflict, but their equally dispensable role in resolution, recovery, and leadership. Resolution 1325 is anchored in what we call the 4 pillars: participation, protection, prevention, relief, and recovery. It called for nothing less than a paradigm shift from viewing women as passive victims to recognizing them as strategic architects of peace. And while the resolution ignited progress, we must admit that its promise remains only partially fulfilled. Too many peace tables remain male-dominated. Too many survivors go unheard. and too many grassroots women's organizations still operate with too little support. In preparing for this address, I revisited Kosovo's own history, and I was especially moved by the legacy of President Atifete Jajaga, Kosovo's first female president. Her courageous decision to center the voices of survivors of sexual violence in national healing was not just symbolic, it was structural. It redefined that leadership could look like and what peace must include. Excellencies, we speak today of global security, but we must also speak of local wounds, because the trauma of war does not end when the fighting stops. It lingers in homes, in classrooms, in the minds of children who stop dreaming, and in women who carry silent scars. Post-traumatic stress is not confined only to soldiers. It spills into the everyday lives of our communities. In the Caribbean, as in Kosovo and beyond, we have seen how conflict, whether through violence, displacement, or climate instability, can fray the fabric of society. And yet, we have also seen the resilience of women who hold that fabric together. Whether advocating for education, leading disaster recovery, or holding fragile families close, Caribbean women have long stood as pillars of strength and healing. Today, let us move from commemoration to commitment. I offer 4 keys as calls to action. 1 is to institutionalize women's leadership at every level of peace and security. Secondly, to invest in mental health and community-based trauma recovery, particularly for mothers and children. Thirdly, to amplify survivor-led movements, not as token voices, but as central partners in shaping justice. And fourthly, bridging the digital divide, ensuring that technology is a shield for the vulnerable, not a surveillance tool. Let us not forget the first casualty of war is often the truth, but the most enduring casualty is potential. The actor who never acted, the child who never grew up, the woman who never felt safe enough to lead. But here, in this forum, we are part of a counterforce. We are not only diagnosing the failures of peace, but we are also declaring our intention to build upon it, not alone, but together. Peace is not passive. It is a moral responsibility. It is a political choice and a daily act of imagination. Let us become, together, the architects of the state of peace we once only imagined. Thank you, and may the discussions that we have during this forum be bold. May your partnerships be lasting, and may your vision be uncompromising. Thank you very much.